Yes. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is SKTV coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona. My name is Sekou Kenan. I want to say thank you to all of you for uh, you know, I just got distracted for a minute, for a second. Yeah, you heard the message,
Yeah.
So, when the show is coming on like that, some of our bosses, can be updating us and getting some more information. But yes, indeed, it is good to be here. Want to say thank you to all of you for following SKTV. Today is a new day. Um, Today is a different day. The War and Economic Crimes Court is the new uh, thing in the town, in the city. Um, I believe many Liberians are excited. So we just learned that the president signed the executive order. Perhaps down the line, if we have the document, we will read it. If not, if we have the video, we will play it. But it's good to be here. Sekou, welcome. How are you?
I'm okay, brother. How's everything?
Yeah, everything's good. Good to have you on here again. Today,
Thank you.
another new day. Another day, another intriguing day, and we are hoping for a very, very, um, you know, provocative conversation, but yes, stimulating conversation. We will be here again to, inform our people
Mm.
and to dive into important issues as they relate to the well-being of our country. So I want to take this time to recognize a few names. At least those of you who are following us, sometimes it's nice if you actually tell us where you are following us from. It's really good. George Young is following up from Greenwood, Louisiana, USA. Welcome to SKTV. Samuel, welcome to SKTV. Fred, welcome to SKTV. And Brother Stewart, welcome to SKTV. Uh, welcome to SKTV. Rochelle Richardson, welcome to SKTV. They brought us towards, he asking me about Nima. I don't know what happened to Nima for now. I don't get no information yet. So
The counter meet just ended. The quarter final between Nimba and another Lofa game just ended.
who won?
Lofa beat Nimba 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, that was she asking me. So where is Nima? Where's Nima? That was he asking me that where is Nima? No problem. I'm not talking. So you came here just to provoke me. We'll talk about that later on. Right now, the war and economic crime could trump everything right now. That one is the biggest news right now. I don't want to hear all the news. Yeah, I don't think people want to hear it. But anyway,
Now only because they beat Nimbala. Oh, nothing
yeah,
else.
because they being Nima, you just say you want to hear the news.
Ah.
Because you
Uh-huh.
sympathy with your brother. Unless you tell me now you sympathy with me.
Brother, you my brother, yeah, you my doma. Yeah, sorry.
Exactly.
Seriously, yo. Uh-huh.
So Rochelle Richardson, welcome to SKTV. Tonya Savvy, welcome to SKTV. Who else? Asata, welcome to SKTV. Oh, this person, La Virtue, following from where was that? Yeah, from Southern Arizona. Welcome to SKTV. After that, she's following us from Maryland, USA. Welcome. Brought from Minnesota. Yeah, she the one causing trouble. Rudolph Perry, welcome to SKTV. Say Gonganu, say congratulations to President Boakai. The change we needed has come, he said. Welcome to SKTV. By Glade, welcome to SKTV. And my feedback Flomo, all the way from Oakland, California. Welcome to SKTV. So, Nebo, what are you hearing? What's going on in Liberia?
Well, thank you. I think the biggest news, like you already start talking about it, it is the War and Economic Crime Court. But before that, let me just say good evening to all of our people, our listeners out there. We want to use this time also to say thanks to all of you for yesterday, for the warm celebration on yesterday of the birthday. That was great. Say thanks to all of you. I think it's better that when people are alive, that's the time that you recognize them. That's the time that you celebrate them, but not when they are dead and gone. So thank you so much. I do appreciate SKTV family. Our CEO Seku. Thank to your team. Thank to my brother Chiku Kuruma. Thank for the love so far. That was just so magnificent. And indeed, I was just overwhelmed on yesterday by the love. So thank to all of you again. So moving forward, yes, today the semi-final of the national county meet between Lofa and other Nimba County has just ended. I think 5:15, yes, or 5:20 between us. So Lofa County beat Nimba County in the semi-final 2-1 on the field of play. So Lofa and other River G County will be played, or they will play the final on Sunday by the grace of God at the SKD Sport Complex. So for sports, yeah, these are some of the latest news coming from sports. So yes, in politics, indeed, the president of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Yama Boakai, today, seen today signing Executive Order 131 on the War and Economics Crime Code, which of course indeed uh, this thing been around. It come from the legislature, is now surfaced at the executive. So there are a lot of Liberians, even though some of us from the media, we are still a little bit busy with certain things, so I'm not really follow all of the in-depth of everything, but I think as we move forward, we're going to see as whether he finally agreed for it to come or what they didn't really sign. So maybe later on, like you said, we're going to go through it and see as to whether he signed for the code to finally come. But I think that's why he signed on today. And there are a lot of Liberians who are celebrating, who are jubilating about the War and Economic Crime Code. So far so good, Seku and our listeners. These are the news in Liberia.
So, Seku, Kroma, my brother, how are you doing and what's going on with this whole War and Economic Crime Code news? What are you hearing?
I just forwarded the document to USA. Just check your WhatsApp page. I mean, your colleague. I just sent it to you so that you can have a look. Uh, Seku, you are muted. Please unmute yourself, Seku.
Yeah, sorry. I was telling you that, say yes. I'm looking at it as well on the executive mansion Facebook page. They call it Executive Order 131
I
on the
sent the whole.
establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Code. Is that the one?
Just go to your WhatsApp. I sent the document to you. Your WhatsApp.
Is it not the same, the one they have?
I'm sure it is, but I sent something to you. So just look at what I sent to you.
Okay, sure. I'll do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll actually open it right here on the computer, so that way it's easy to read. So we're listening to you, Siku. What do you think about it? Since you already have the document.
Like Mabel said, try to digest it. We always will go through it right now. The moment you guys spoke about it, I was waiting for 4 o'clock, but then I had some kind of urgent stuff somewhere and I ran there. So I was just about to go through it when you guys talk about it, and that's why I also
Okay.
you. So we
Well,
need to know exactly what's embedded in there. What is it that the president signed? Yeah,
so
it's a volume of 5 pages document. If we have the time, we could
yeah,
go through.
so we will have a guy who is very good at reading.
Because all the things is invest.
But the way they teach small, small, say I don't need my I can see everything. Me, I don't get no glasses also. So if Monk comes in on, I think Monk will help us read it. Monk is very good at reading. He's very fast.
We
But the
can
way
also,
the document is structured here in what you send me in, it's not actually sequential order. Where we can start from this page to that page because
uh,
I can see the sound page right in the middle, which is supposed to be at the end. So yeah, let me see here. Let me
don't
see.
worry. You start going reading. I can do that, brother.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, please, yeah, you can rearrange it. That would really help.
Chisegu, I think go back to that same executive mansion. I think for the 1 minute ago they have special address, and downward you will see
The person talking?
no, not talking. They have their own
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
that they write there.
I'm to that
Yes.
place now.
Okay, yes. So you're going to see May 2nd, Thursday, May 2nd, signing and issuing executive order number 131, establishing the office of the World and Economic Crimes Court. So, yeah.
Damn.
So just go there and you will see that one, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is so good, man. The Liberian people are happy. Yeah. So in fact, not only that we have it here, but we also, we
I
also
can
have the
read it in sequence. I
huh?
can read it in sequence if you want me to. I
Yeah, you
already
can read it. You
share
can
it.
read it. You can read it. That'll be good.
All right, okay, let me try. I don't
Try
know
if you
what
can.
I'm good at reading, but I'm
No,
gonna
not
try.
good at reading. Your eyes better than mine. That's good. Just read it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Executive Order number 131, 131, establishing the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court for Liberia. Whereas the Republic of Liberia underwent 14 years of civil war, during the course of which numerous atrocities, including murder, genocide, rape, destructions of properties, and lootings of natural and other resources of the nations were committed by various warring factions and individuals. Whereas and intractable peace processes undertaken by Liberians and international community culminated into the executions of the Comprehensive Peace Accra Peace Agreement in 2003, which led to the creation in 2005 of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the TRC, with the mandate to investigate the circumstances attending to the Liberian civil war and to make recommendations in respect thereto, and as consequence of which a final comprehensive report was presented to the government of Liberia in 2010. Whereas the TRC cataloged some of the war and economic crimes committed during the Liberian Civil War and listed certain organizations and individuals who engage in or wise complicit in the perpetration of war crimes, as well as others who allegedly committed economic crimes against the Republic and the people of Liberia, and predicated their own recommended the establishment of the Extraordinary Criminal Court for Liberia to prosecute those responsible for the commission of innumerable war crimes as the term is defined internationally. Whereas the failures of successive legislature and executive to attend to the recommendation of the TRC and to actualize the setting up of a court to address the issues of war crimes and courts to deal with the issue of economic crimes committed against the Republic, or to take action to address the war crimes allegations, left report all atrocities said to have been carried out left a painful void in the nation and among its people, and hampered the quest for national unity. Whereas the House of Representatives of the 55th Legislature of Liberia passed a resolution number 001 slash 2024 slash April 8, 2024, advocating its approval for the setting up of War and Economic Crimes Court, and for which resolution was concurred by the Liberian Senate, carrying the title, The Mechanism for the Establishment of Extraordinary Criminal Court and Domestic Corruption Court for War and Economic Crimes. Whereas the resolution relying on Article 34E, B, J, I, and Chapter 2, Article 5C of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia implored the executive branch of government to use its executive powers to issue an executive order setting out a mechanism which shall study and recommend the machinery and process related to the establishment of a special war crimes court for Liberia, with the aim that such court will prosecute persons and organizations identified as responsible for war crimes and crimes against humanity committed during the Liberian Civil War between the period 1979 and 2003, as well as the mechanism for the establishment of an anti-corruption court subject to domestic jurisdiction and operating and guided domestic jurisprudence with the power to adjudicate matters involving acts of corruption committed between 1979 to present. Whereas the current executive government, under my leadership, being mindful of the atrocity committed in the course of the Liberian Civil War and the innumerable suffering to which the Liberian people have been subjected, and recognizing the need for accountability and healing of the wound growing out of the war, is committed to ensuring the enforcement of justice for war crimes victims as part of its rules of law initiative, and has determined that it is in the best interest of the Liberian people that the implementation of the TRC report, which calls for the establishment of extraordinary criminal tribunal for Liberia that will prosecute people who committed war crimes and crimes against humanity of whatever nature during the course of the Liberian Civil War, be pursued not only to address the impunity and atrocity that attends the Liberian Civil War, but also to serve as the deterrent for similar events in the future. Whereas, although the Liberian Penal Law Code not define or provide for the prosecution of war crimes, they say act being within the international sphere and defined by international laws, and Liberian laws prohibit the prosecutions of crimes which at the times of their commissions were not stated or categorized as crimes under the Liberian Penal Law. Yet by virtues of the Constitution of Liberia, which authorize the states to enter into treaties, conventions, agreement, protocol, etc., a number of treaties and other international instruments were signed and ratified by Liberia, inclusive of treaties defining war crimes and crimes against humanity, stipulating acts constituting war crimes and crimes against humanity, and providing the penalty therefore, thus making them a part of the Liberian domesticated law. Whereas, by virtue of Liberia being a signatory to and having ratified the several treaties and protocols dealing with war crimes and crimes against humanity, Liberia is under a legal and international obligation to comply with the provisions of said treaties and protocols, and to facilitate, cooperate, and coordinate fully with the international community in addressing the issues of war crimes and crimes against humanity committed by citizens of Liberia, an organization formed and operating under the laws of Liberia and within the territorial confines of Liberia, including the setting up war crime structures and processes for the prosecutions of persons and organizations identified as having been involved in the commissions of crime, war crimes, and crimes against humanity, both in accord with the Liberian international obligation as well as the protections of Liberian people by mechanisms which accord them access to international justice. Now, therefore, the legislative branch of the government of Liberia, having resolved and authorized the setting of the mechanism and processes for the establishment of war crimes court of an international nature and of that international mix, and having given Liberia assurance of fullest cooperation in achieving the goal of establishing an international war crimes court for Liberia to prosecute persons identified as having committed in Liberia act constituting war crimes and crime against humanity, I, quoting Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, by the power in me vested by the Constitution of Liberia and in compliance with the Liberian international obligations and the will of the Liberian people to obtain justice and bring closure to the events of the Civil War, do hereby establish the Office of War and Economic Crimes Court for Liberia. The office shall investigate, design, prescribe the methodology, mechanism, and the process for which the establishment of a special war crimes court for Liberia, as well as the establishment of a national anti-corruption court for Liberia. The following shall constitute the structural terms of reference of the office. Can I continue?
Yes. I'm enjoying it. We got 2 more pages, so we're almost there.
Yeah. Number 1, the Office of War and Economic Crimes Court shall be headed by an executive director who shall be an astute lawyer of the impeccable character, knowledgeable in the Liberian constitutional and criminal law, and capable of working with the international community in the formulation of mechanisms, procedures, processes attending to the establishment of war crimes court and an anti-corruption court for Liberia. Further, the office of the executive director shall be assisted by the secretarial and a court of highly professional legal minds, with such other officers and consultants as shall be required to effectively carry out the duties and tasks assigned to the office. Sorry. The office shall, in addition, have the following responsibility. A, conduct research and studies, growing, therefrom, and in consultations with the international partners, select a modus of international tribunal for war crimes, including the jurisdictions and statutes of the Special War Crimes Court for Liberia, consistent in and harmony with the international model that have been used for similar trials of war crimes. Liaise with international partners in sourcing the funding for the Special War Crimes Court for Liberia. C, draft legislation for the establishment of the Anti-Corruption Court for Liberia, take full consideration the jurisdiction's configuration, which shall be separate and distinct from those ascribed to other current criminal courts in Liberia, capable of addressing all forms of corruption cases connected to and growing out of the Civil War, as well as corruptions committed during the governance of the Republic subsequent to the Liberian Civil War and to the present. D, recommend the scopes and directions of the Special War Crimes Court for Liberia after due consultations with founding partners and other considerations necessary to the existence and operation of the court. C. Recommend any other means by which the Special War Crimes Code for Liberia can be expeditiously established. Number 3. Demand the duration, tenure, and operation of the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Code shall come to an end and cease to function upon the full establishment, functioning, and coming into effect, that is, operation of the Special War Crimes Code for Liberia and the Anti-Corruption Code for Liberia. Nothing in this executive order shall be interpreted to interfere with, hinder, or diminish any of the rights of the citizen of the Republic of Liberia. Number 4, the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court shall report to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, but shall be semi-independent, divorced of any or all political influence, and guided strictly by the legal consideration. The executive order shall take immediate effect, given under my hands and the seal of the Republic of Liberia, the 2nd day of May, AD 2024, with the signature Joseph Numa Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia.
Man, kudos to you, Sekou. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And I believe the viewership appreciate it. I think this is heavily loaded, it's fully loaded.
Sekou got to drink water. Alado, you don't want to drink?
So, Monk, welcome. Man, what's going on?
What's up, Sekou, and what's up to the listening audience as usual, our international and local listening audience from all over the world, from all over the planet. Today was a big and humongous day for Liberia that deserved commemoration. This day must go down as infamy, and Joseph Boakai scored a big point. I told people from day one, Joseph Boakai was elected based on few talking points, that he come with more experience, that he's an elder statesman. People trust his judgment, and he was the closest thing to remove George Weah. In as much as other leaders were available at the time, they believed that Joseph Boakai presented the quickest path to remove George Weah. In his action, look, we said on this show countless occasions, we're not here to play politics. When Joseph Boakai does great, we will toot his horn. We will blow his trumpet on SKTV. And not only the war camp code, 2 things Joseph Boakai did within the last 48 hours that we should give credit is the issue of the closing of the Western Cluster. You know, when you are president, you are the highest in the bureaucracy. That's why you get something called executive order. You get the power of the pen. You got a bullet puppet. And Joseph Boakai showed strength in those 2 areas. Apart from the War and Economic Crime Code, he ordered the closure of Western Cluster. And that was a very, very great move, because when these concession agreements are signed, sometimes our partners who came to do business, they don't live up to expectation. They don't uphold their end of the bargain. They come to destroy the infrastructure. They don't follow up on their corporate social responsibility. And Joseph Boakai told them that I'm the man. I was the one giving the mantra of authority, so I'm ordering you to please shut them down. That's exactly what happened. So, and everything now executive order, even though I'm here to peruse through it, but we've been saying on SKTV that we are signatory to international declaration, that we cannot, that there are laws, there are global laws that is bigger than our constitution, in as much as we respect our constitution as the organic law of the land. There are other international laws that we are signatory to that is bigger. So dragging this thing wasn't going to go anywhere. We knew at the end of the day, when the dust settled, that no matter how Joseph Boakai was going to drag his feet, he was going to sign up on the war crimes code, and that's exactly what he did. So today, it's going to be all praises for Joseph Boakai. This is beyond imagination, because 2 of his predecessors, they kicked the can down the road. They played politics, and Joseph Boakai was finally able to put this thing to bed. So all kudos to him. I give the old man the props for this. Big time TK. This is big time stuff. This is beyond Liberia. When you talk about accountability and the rule of law, this is how you set the precedent for it. And Joseph Boakai did that exactly. So today on SKTV, you can expect that the praises and admiration for Joseph Boakai will be to the roof. It will be coming from all over the place. That's just it. Whether you like it or not, it's not politics. This is bigger than politics. This is Liberia. This is Liberia. It's not politics. It has nothing to do with United Party. It has nothing to do with Liberty Party. It has nothing to do with the ANC. It has everything to do with the forward movement agenda of Liberia. Because if you want to talk about accountability, this is how you set the marker. And Joseph Boakai did exactly that. Stop there for now.
Thank you so much. Sekou, you read it? Do you have a say, or you still want to peruse the document?
With what I just went through, isn't a surprise to me at all, because I knew that Joe Boakai would be one of the first presidents to have implemented this issue of the War Crimes Court in Liberia. George Weah would have done that, but he was, according to him, looking at reconciliation for the first time of his office. And even if George Weah was given the opportunity, this particular time, George Weah was going to be forced to do this thing, or other than that, he wouldn't have received the kind of aid apparently he wanted to receive for his government. More precise, this has been the cry and quest of the international community. Look, Sekou, it is disheartening, very frustrating for you to live with somebody. I went through the TRC document with listed time, dates that alleged perpetrated issues occurred. Things, the date, the time, the hour, people who allegedly committed these crimes. Those people, some of them, are living with us who are leaders for us in this country. Those very people are decision makers. And these are people, or those are people in our country that ride or move luxuries of cars, live in homes that you will never imagine that any other Liberian will have the opportunity to live in those kind of homes. And some of them even brag about the war, the way in which they participated in the war. And some of them go openly to still tell people that I'm a rebel. If you try me, I will block your stomach. I will do this. I will do that. Prince Johnson name on that document, there are two different categories. Prince Johnson name fall under the point where they say most notorious. He's number one. And I think this is where people are just calling Prince Johnson, everything Prince Johnson, and because the way he's taking it. But Prince Johnson is not the only person named on our document. If you go to that document, there are people named on that document who have died already. There are people named on that document who are not even working in government as we speak. They are behind the scenes. Some of them are still living, and they need to go and explain themselves. These are people who live in community with people who still feel that they are still living in those days of intimidation. They still tell people, and you know me, you know what I can do. So if we want to have a clean Liberia, let's be like Sierra Leone. When Tijan Kaba requested for the special court establishment and UN honor it, listen, Sekou and the rest of the team here. Every single person who participated in that war as fashion head or named rank during that particular period, all of them were prosecuted, and some of them were sent to jail in Pandemaro, and some of them were sent out of the country to jail. From that time up to now, check the government of Sierra Leone. You cannot find a single war law in the government. So nobody is trying to protect anything. But today, you find people who said they came to liberate, they came to fight, they executed, they destroyed properties, they did all kinds of things. And we are living with these people in government today, and they are heading us. Where are we going? And someone comes to us and say, yeah, we are a Christian country. The whole Christian thing, they need to put it one side. People need to go to the court and tell the court what they did. If they don't find them guilty, fine, they come and serve in their various positions. If they find them guilty, let them go and facing the penalties that the law has for them. Other than that, you and myself will keep saying sorry and sorry. The young people in this country will keep becoming Zogo because there are a lot of opportunities that will be stepped on. And the very people who fought and killed this country, destroy properties, their children will go to school, they will travel out of this country, they will get BB degree and come back, and it will keep circling. Look at the government. You still have people circling in the government who Seku, the War Crimes Code is timely. It must be held at this particular point. Let's go for it. And look, kudos to President Joseph Numa Boakai. If he have never won my admiration, today you have getting it more, and I will press it more and more. That's what I have to say for now.
Thank you so much. Mabel, you have something to say? Because I'm looking at this thing from different perspectives. Just reading through. As you guys, been speaking, I've been reading. And I'm not sure what's going on, but I will speak. Let me, after Mabel. Mabel, go ahead. Do you have anything to add to based on what we just heard?
Well, yes, I just want to say thanks to the president for a job well done. Like my brother already said, because mind you, we were around during the war, especially World War One, World War Two, World War Three. In fact, some of us we saw some of our peers by them that were child soldiers that were used to kill people. They were holding guns, intimidating people, taking things from people because why they were used by some of the ex-general today. So to just add up to what my brother said, I've been praying for this team to come. For a very long time, this has been our campaign. And I'm happy that at least finally we're getting green light that by the grace of God, because mind you though, these entire documents, there are some things that myself I'm still observing, but until the court can come, until everything can be done, and we see people going to the court to testify, then I will say yes, indeed, Liberia is getting to a new level. What I witnessed during the 2023 elections, what I saw rebels putting themselves together with red, I think they were having red shite, black, black barrel, all those kind of things. Look, that was just so terrible for us. And she just said it. We cannot be living like this, where certain group of people will just wake up one morning and say, oh, you know who I am? I'm an ex-general, I'm a this. In fact, just be intimidating people. That was wrong. And we saw that during the elections. Like, for me, I cried about how will ex-rebel come out, call themselves ex-rebels, come out and say, we are supporting this, or we are supporting the other political party. Anybody cheat, this is what's going to happen. We are ex-rebels. Thank God that the court is here. And they've been saying it. We have videos, we have recordings. So let them go now and explain to the people as to what they did during the wartime. And if the court feel that maybe the evidence is not enough, maybe to let them go out, well, that's it. So for me, I'm happy today. And I know that the other Liberians are also happy and we are all celebrating. But again, like you said, myself, I'm still reading because he said you should make report to, I don't know, justice, to this and that. I'm still a bit confused. And I know you and other Brazilian monk, you're going to help us, some of us, because we don't really understand all of these things. So it will cancel, it will go so, it will go the other side. I'm a bit confused. Thank you.
Mabel.
Thank you so much, Mabel. Reading this document, I am sorry to say this, I'm getting more confused about the process because we have document that is recommended by the TRC and other legal minds with the help of the international community as to how the process, the procedure of the War and Economic Crimes Code. This document, the optics is very good for Joseph Nyima Boakai, but the meat on the bone, I up for serious consideration. You got to read it and understand it. Few things that I'm concerned about. I'm going to read the last paragraph of page 4. I think that's page 3 or page 3 leading to page 4. Because page 3 leading to page 4, right? I think it's out about 5 pages, right? So page 5 only the signature page. So yeah, that's page 3, the last paragraph. It says 1. The Office of War and Economic Crimes Court shall be headed by an executive director who shall be an astute lawyer of impeccable character, knowledgeable in the Liberian Constitution and criminal law, and capable of working with the international community in the function of the mechanism, procedures, processes attending the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court and an anti-corruption code for Liberia. Further, the office of the executive director shall be assisted by a secretariat and a call of highly professional legal minds. Such other officers and consultants as shall be required to effectively carry out the duty and tasks assigned to the office. The office shall, in addition, have the following responsibility. Yeah, I hope you're paying attention. Then I will tell you now my concerns. So those responsibilities say, A, conduct research and studies, and growing therefrom, and in consultation with the international partners, select a model of an international tribunal for war crimes, including the jurisprudence and including the jurisdiction and statutes of the Special Crimes Court for Liberia, consistent and in harmony with the international models that have been used for similar trials of war crimes. Liaise with international partners in sourcing the funding for the Special War Crimes Court for Liberia. Draft, pay attention, draft legislation for the establishment of anti-corruption court for Liberia, taking into full consideration jurisdictional configuration which shall be separate and distinct from those ascribed to other current criminal courts in Liberia, capable of addressing all forms of corruption cases connected to and growing out of the Civil War, as well as corruption committed during the governance of the Republic subsequent to the Liberian Civil War, as to and to the present. And then they say, recommend the scope and duration of the Special Crown Court for Liberia after due consultation with funding partners and other consideration necessary to the existing and operation of the court. Recommend in other means by which the Special Crown Court for Liberia can be expeditiously established. And then he said, I'm coming to the part, the very important part that I have. He said the mandate, duration, tenure, and operation of the Office of the War and Economic Crown Court shall come to an end and cease to function upon the full establishment, functioning, and coming into effect, parenthesis, operation of a Special Crown Court for Liberia and Anti-Corruption Court. I hope you're paying attention to as we can come here into. And then they, after putting all those things in there, they said nothing in this executive order shall be interpreted, inferred with, hinder, or diminish any of the right of any citizen of the Republic of Liberia. The Office of War and Economic Crown Court shall report to the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General, but shall be semi-independent, divorced of any and all political influence, and guided strictly by legal considerations. Those areas were my concerns, and I'll elaborate further by my understanding of the languages. You know, politics is sweet. And if you understand it, it's even better. This document is pregnant. This document, we might not see a functioning and actionable war and economic crown court in Liberia anytime soon. This document, the part that say, I, Joseph Nima Boakai, today establish or calling for establishment of the war and economic crown court in Liberia. That is the only good thing inside. Every other thing inside, from the way I'm reading it, is more of a cosmetic approach. Try to put lipstick, and they say even if you put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. The sweet talk, the fun talk, it's good. But it's like you having the War Crown Court establishment, the process leading to that, before they even start to talk about arresting people, prosecuting people, this and that, is not going to be anytime soon. In fact, this document is saying, even though they are seeking the help of the international community, of this one, of that one, of this one, of that one, but Joseph Boakai don't want that War Crown Court to be the one to prosecute the people. That's what the document is saying. That's what it said. After helping them and doing everything, when they will establish Liberia own courts, special court, the anti-corruption court, and people that will prosecute. A lot of people are concerned about economic crime. People, things that are happening during the war and after the war, all the way to present. You're going to have a special court. They say after that court is established, then definitely the so-called war economic crime code that we're talking about right now will cease to exist. Why you say no? Let me finish, then you can read it. It's English. Okay? When I finish, you read it, and I will read a paragraph that speaks to what I'm talking about now, and then you can go and interpret it in the way you understand English. And these are legal documents. As much as we are not legal practitioners, we've been around, we've been associated with legal documents, we can read it through that lens. I'm telling you, let me go back and read to you what I'm talking about here. They said, the mandate, duration, tenure, and operation of the Office of War and Economic Crimes Court shall come to an end and cease to function upon the full establishment and functioning and coming into effect of the operation of the special war crime court for Liberia and anti-corruption court for Liberia. Nothing in this executive order shall be interpreted, interfere with, hinder, or diminish any right of any citizen of the Republic of Liberia. If you look at this whole thing from the last paragraph, of page 3 leading to page 4, it's telling you Joseph Boaga is going to appoint somebody that will act as a executive director. That person will be the one that will help organize the whole thing. And after all of the things that they are doing, then that office now will be dissolved. And then the one where they're going to organize now as War and Economic Crime Court for Liberia will take effect. The War Crime Court thing, that as we know it, is different from that particular special court for Liberia that what he calling now the anti-corruption court. Here's why. That particular court that they are talking about will be reporting to the Justice Minister and will not be holistically independent as the War and Economic Crime Court will have been. They say it will be semi-independent. That means it's not going to be an independent court holistically running as special court. They're going to be not only they're going to be reporting to the Minister of Justice, but they're not going to be independent of the Minister of Justice. That means the president, the executive of Liberia will still have control as to how it functions. So you're shaking your head. I want you to tell me exactly why you're shaking your head. State your disagreement and your understanding of that part.
Thank you very much, Sekou. I like you so much. I told you the other day. Now, I want you to look at that document very carefully. This particular thing you're talking about is referring to the office of the executive director. The office Now,
I just said that, right?
they said the office is not the court. 1 minute, please. The mandate, duration, tenure, and operation of the office is referring to the Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court. That office, that president have already established an executive director is going to be appointed to that office. That person tenure, the direction is upon the full establishment of this particular War and Economic Crimes Court. The day the War and Economic Crimes Court is being established and fully functional, this office of this War and Economic Crimes Court executive director and their entire leadership will be dissolved that very day. Now, it comes back to where you are talking about number 4. The Office of the War and Economic Crimes Court shall report. That means this identical executive director that's going to be heading the office to work along with the international partner. This office will be reporting to the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia. But he should be a semi-independent. In a sense, he's not going to be completely independent to run his own, meaning he's going to be reporting to the eyes of the government, because this identical institution is not a governmental arm. This institution is a liaison between the government and the international partner in making sure. So this is not referring to the War Crimes Court, implementation. The day the implementation of the War and Economic Crimes Code is being established and fully in swing, this office is dissolved and the people do their work. So the War Crimes Court will not be reporting to President Boakai or the government of Liberia. That has exactly to be done the way, because if you go up that document, it tells you that they are going to do it the way they've been doing other War Crimes Court activities. Because we are significant.
So let me agree with you. I get exactly what you're saying. The appointment of an executive director to run and carry on the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Court to be appointed by the president. That's now what is recommended by the TRC and the international community based on the document that is sent to Joseph Nyeama Boakai as to how this whole process should be done. That's now what we are reading here. That's one. Number 2, the function of that executive director that we're talking about here. Do you know the elephant in the room there is about having the legislation to establish War and Economic Crimes Court? It means that this saying, Joseph Boakai's time War and Economic Crimes Court is not War and Economic Crimes Court yet. Joseph Boakai will appoint executive director that will supposedly work with other people, and yet under their responsibility, the legislators in Liberia, both Senate and the House of Representatives, they're going to have to enact something that will give birth. Let me show you. Let me read out.
Quickly, I'm coming before you read it, Pat.
Listen now, listen.
1 minute check.
Listen.
1 minute check. Okay, go ahead.
Under the responsibility of that executive director, they will draft a legislation for the establishment of the Anti-Corruption Court for Liberia, taking into full consideration the jurisdictional configuration, which shall be separate and distinct from those ascribed to other current criminal courts, capable of addressing all forms of corruption cases connected and growing out to the civil war. So what I'm trying to say here, all the documents that we just heard, signed by the president, the document you say you also hear here, signed by the court, the legislature, both houses, it's nothing yet. So in order for the whole war crime code to be established, the executive director, Joseph Boakai, is going to appoint. You're going to go to work and draft a legislation that must pass by the legislature. You listen to one of the saying, oh, today I'm voting, but the second time I will now vote. That means getting a war economic crime code, we are far away from there. Very far away. This is just the beginning. We told you here. These things, these documents, you can read it, you can understand it the way you want to understand it. But deep down, what Liberian people are happy about, what they're jubilating about, is having war economic crime code taken in their mind. That very soon, they will start to grab people who are responsible for committing war and economic crime in Liberia. Soon, very soon, the people who committed economic crime will soon be grabbed in Liberia. Soon, very soon, the likes of Prince Johnson and other people who are considered of committing heinous crime and crime against humanity will soon go to court and be prosecuted. That is not what's happening right now. That is the point I'm trying to make here. Based on this document, there's nothing to be happy about. War crime code is not coming right now. Joseph Boakai just giving green light to the people to start the process of establishing war crime code. War crime code is not established yet. War crime code is not signed, and war crime code has now passed the legislation. We don't want to confuse our people. That is the fact, and that's the information we have on this paper. And even as in the establishment of that document, those who are going to establish that document, the executive director that are going to be appointed by Joseph Nima Boakai, and with all the people they're going to work with, the state going to be controlled by Joseph Boakai, Minister of Justice. They, in fact, saying those people they're going to work to establish a work, but they're not going to work independently. They're going to be semi-independent, meaning like half independent. That's what it means. So you can disagree all you want, but based on what is in black and white, there's no war crime court in Liberia. We don't know when it will come. Sometimes a mandate, their executive, director, they tell you the scope of operation, how long they're going to be working, the timeline for their work crime code to be established, we don't know yet. And I can tell you, they can drag these things all the way to the end of the tenure of Joseph Nima Boakai. They stay working on establishing the war crime code. Besides, after they have drafted their document, the legislation calling for the establishment of war and economic crime code in Liberia, especially they call it anti-corruption court in Liberia, before they can even finish putting their document together and sending it to the legislature, most of whom are corrupt, most of whom could be victims, could be witnesses, could be prosecuted by this war and economic crime code. They're going to go back on their lap for them to decide whether or not we're going to have war and economic code in Liberia. So based on that, this is just a cosmetic approach to fool the Liberian people, to tell you, say, war and economic crime code will come. Joseph Boakai not sign it. But you know what Joseph Boakai sign? Yeah, you're putting it together. Let's see how it's going to look like. Then from there, you'll send it to the legislature. A legislator sign it. Then we'll have war and economic crime code. Anything that will be less or short of Prince Johnson being protected, of Nathaniel McGill being protected, all the people that are accused of economic crime, anything less than their protection is not going to pass the legislature. That means we're not going to have no war crime code. So Joseph Boakai, based on the fact that Joseph Boakai has the right under the statute, the international statute, by virtue of our constitution, to establish, to call executive order to establish War and Economic Crime Code. But Joseph Boakai is trying to put on in circle, you go around, mirror go around, and go back again all the way to the legislature again. That means Joseph Boakai continues to outsource his responsibility and decision-making ability to that of the legislature. Joseph Boakai did nothing here, zero. If this war crime document was to say today, I am calling on the international community, the United Nations, the United States, to help us in establishing war and economic crime code in Liberia that will follow the international standard. Then Joseph Boakai says something, but Joseph Boakai telling you, I'm going to appoint executive person. They will go to work. They will do this. They will do that. All the other cosmetics you see in there, like your makeup. And you know the word women can put makeup, so they're not fine. But they can put all kind of things on them when they get to public, they look fine. The cosmetic part aspect, I'm looking at it. Joseph Boakai, this document is nothing. No work on code coming. So let me conclude. No work on code coming. If it's going to come, it's not going to be just now, no timeline, and there's no guarantee that it will be independent. It tells you, say, the person that you're going to appoint to work, to bring the workaround code, that person will not even be independent. They're going to be controlled by the Minister of Justice. You're going to be controlled by Joseph Boakai. So if they do something that Joseph Boakai don't like, he can still use the Minister of Justice to disrupt the process. And after all of that, after all their work, you know what? The same people then, they got to approve it again. And if we want to come to work economic crime code, Eddie Snow, and all the other guys that have been accused of being corrupt, they're not going to sign it. And they told you that we're not going to sign it. So there's no work economic crime code. Nothing. So, President Monga, you there? Maybe you have something else to say?
Yeah, I have something to say because I got to totally JP. You see, in politics, you say optics is everything. What the eye sees, the ear hears, the mind believes. You can talk about the technicality of the code. You can talk about the independence of the code. You can tell how we're going to run the code. At the end of the day, that's why it's a hybrid code. We know you will not have 100% on both sides. It's a hybrid, meaning the combination of the international code versus that of our local codes and local laws. So I don't expect someone to be 100% in favor of international laws when they were appointed by Joseph Boakai. There will always be politics. But my thing here is, I think it's too soon to start putting the cat of the house. Look, we have the international supporters that are on board, our international partners. We have joint resolution from both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now the president put his support behind this thing. So for me, I think it's too early to start jumping the gun as to the outcome, the technicality, and if the code will come or not. I think it's a moment to celebrate at the moment, and we are here to hold Joseph Boakai feet to the fire. So that's why you have media institutions. If we come to the realization that this thing is being political or they want to politicize it, then I think we can start raising the alarm. But at this stage, to just preempt that, you know what, that this thing is not coming, that there's just a cosmetic approach, no, I will not go that route at the moment. I will wait and see. I will take a lean back approach. The fact of the matter, the president is on board. I think it's a positive news. We got no resolution from both houses. That's a good news. We have international community on board. I don't think the international community want to put their funds, their resources, and make this kind of a commitment only for Joseph Boakai and some people in the bureaucracy to come and be dragging their feet or to play games. So we wanted an executive order. We got the executive order. So the whole thing about the technicality, the practical aspect of the code.
Mark, just a point of interjection, right?
Yes.
We want an executive order. Executive order that will outrightly give birth to the establishment of War and Economic Crimes Code, power which Joseph Boakai has. He has the power to establish the War and Economic Crimes Code through an executive order, not
Joseph Boakai don't have that. Joseph Boakai don't have that power.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. When I'm talking,
go ahead.
You talk any kind of way you want to talk until you finish. I don't let to be interrupted, please.
All right. Okay.
So, an executive order, Monk, would have been Joseph Boakai has the power. He doesn't need anybody, not the legislature, nothing else, appointing executive director or whatsoever they want to do, but to request help from the international community. That will make sense. But after all of that, if to even say that committee that he's just going to put together, that war crown court office that he's going to create, to say that that office will not be independent of the executive of the executive, especially the Minister of Justice, and saying that they will be halfway independent. That's a red flag, number one. Red flag number two, Joseph Boakai does not need another legislation to open War and Economic Crime Court in Liberia. Asking for legislation is buying time and to circumvent the establishment of War and Economic Crime Court directly from Joseph Boakai. And they're going to keep kicking the can down the road. Nothing will happen.
So that's exactly what you're driving at. That Joseph Boakai is playing a cosmetic game. That he's not interested in War Crime Court. He using the the George Weah and Madame Salif approach, except he's doing it in reverse. That's the point you're literally trying to say here.
Exactly.
That this thing, no War Crimes Code is coming. It might look like a War Crime Code, but in reality, that's not what you're going to get. So this thing get to bamboozle.
Thank you so much.
The ordinary Liberian. Okay, that's how I want you to settle that problem. But for me, like I said, I have a whole different approach. Maybe the way how you analyze that document, you could. I mean, and there are some legitimate concern in what you are saying. My thing here is I don't want to be preemptive when it comes to the War Crimes Code. We will see with time, everything will be revealed. If Joseph Boakai is actually playing game with it, we will tell. We can use case study. That was our case study. Whether it's Rwanda, whether it's Sierra Leone, whether it's the Kosovo or the Balkans, do we know that there were War Crimes Code established in other part of the world? We know the time limit. We can use that as a measuring stick to be like, you know what? Joseph Boakai is not up to prompt time. He's not up for business. This thing is a cosmetic approach. He's trying to bamboozle on the Liberian. But for me, from what I'm seeing and from what I'm reading, I'm not taking that approach now. I will give Joseph Boakai the benefit of the doubt until he can prove to me that he up for games. And then executive is not going anywhere, right?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Table Chroma, go ahead. From there, we have somebody here that wanted to ask something. But since you wanted to say something, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Joseph Boakai, as the president, don't have the executive power to have a war crimes code in Liberia. Let me make that very clear. Now, the resolution you saw over there is something that the Liberian people
So I'm not interrupting you. Repeat what you just said from the beginning. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just want you to repeat your first statement, please. Sorry if you interrupted, but that was
Hello.
I just want you to reiterate the first point you made about Joseph Boakai and the executive order.
Joseph Boakai as president.
Okay.
Joseph Boakai as president don't have the power single-handed to call for establishment of war crimes code in Liberia.
All right.
This country has three branches of government. The first branch of government is the legislature. They make the law. They agree. They are the Liberian people. They are the real Liberian people. Now, they had a resolution. That resolution was just for them to agree that we all agree for this particular war crimes code to come. That was the resolution. The resolution is not a bill. The bill have to be crafted and sent to the legislature. Now, the fact that all of them have already agreed that we agree we want the war crimes code to come, they do not understand, they do not know, because that TRC report we're talking about, that TRC report never went through legislation. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf never agreed for the report to go through legislation so that it becomes a law. All the recommendations and testimony in that TRC report did not go through legislation. So it's still standing back as a document. Whether it's going to be used or not, nobody knows. Now let's come back to this. That bill is going to be crafted, sent to the House of Representatives. They will go through it, how the process will be. They sign it and send to the Senate for concurrence. Send it back to the president, and the president will now sign that into law. It becomes a law for the establishment of the war crimes code in Liberia. So President Boakai only established the office leading to the War Crimes Code. I'm also in agreement with you. If anybody feels that the War Crimes Code is going to be established today, tomorrow, or day after tomorrow, no. It might not even be established this year. Because there are a lot of other work that needs to be done for that War Crimes Code document to be prepared for just. But the most important thing here is, Sekou, the War Crimes Code is going to be established. Don't expect it this year. Expect it this year. It's in between because they did not tell us the duration of when it's going to be established. But there should be a bill. When that bill leaves that place before the president and he signs it, definitely now it becomes the voice of the Liberian people. And don't say they will not agree. Do not say they will not agree. They will agree. The fact that they signed the resolution, they are going to agree. Look, let me say this, guys. More, I think you are a little bit on the other side today, trying to show some sort of appreciation, but you're trying to take Sekou side a little bit because I told you, I said Sekou good, right? Sekou is very good. I told you this. Now, I can't take Sekou side even partially today. No way. It's not possible. Joe Boakai have started on a group 14. If you read the document from Sierra Leone, which I will share with you after this show, or all of us will see it, the president requested, it went through parliament, it was legislated, it was signed, and then when the special code went, the people of Sierra Leone agreed to it. So what do you want the president to do? To come back today? No, Sekou, don't interrupt me too, I beg you. Sekou, I beg you. I hold your phone today. Just wait for me small. I agree. You the air for
Listen. When you concluded your statement, I thought you done, and I said thank you. If you not finish it, say I'm not done yet.
No, I didn't hear you.
Besides,
you were muted.
Besides that, I'm the one running the show, right? I can interrupt anybody to interject. I'm the one running the show. When you run there will be time. You will be running the show just as Steve can do. There will be time everyone will run the show. If you're running the show, you got the right to interject and say, hold up. That's how it works. Beyond that, I want you to conclude. Maybe you need a little more education. I'm not saying you don't know, but you said something. I know you don't understand that part of the law. So I want you to conclude conclusively,
Sekou, educate me
and talk about that.
Sekou, educate me right now. I'm listening.
Thank you. First and foremost, per our constitution that allow Liberia to be signatory of statutes, conference,
treaties,
other international laws and treaties that give power, absolute power, to Joseph Nima Boakai to work with the international community, establish war and economic crimes code in Liberia without
the law
any legislation.
That's why I told him to repeat the first statement because I wanted to say it for the second time.
You know, sometimes that's why I want us to listen and listen to him. Sometimes, people speak out of emotion, out of sentiment, out of somebody trying to confuse them. But I'm telling you, that part of the law you need a little more research so you can understand what that means. Yes, if you think Joseph Boakai does not have the absolute power to establish one economic crime code, he does. The Constitution gave him that right. In fact, when you see that one economic crime code was not established under George Weah's presidency because he was not willing to do it, it does not require the it does not require the legislature to sign any. It doesn't have to be a law. The law is already on the books. The law is already there. The law that gives Liberia the right to be a part of those international statutes, treaties, international law gives Joseph Boakai the right to establish. In fact, that's what I told you that this executive order should have been very, very nice. And we should have always be celebrating here. If Joseph Boakai had used the power and the legal right he has to establish War and Economic Crimes Court today by establishing the office, giving them the right to work independently, work with the international community, the United Nations, and the African Union, OAU, and ECOWAS in the United States to establish the War and Economic Crimes Court right away. But stating that office, the executive order, the executive director that he going to appoint, stating that office will not be independent, will be semi-independent, and stating that even after that, the document they're going to establish, they're going to have to create or draft another document, legislation that must be approved again. It means that Joseph Boakai is once again outsourcing his responsibility, his duty as president to the legislature, for which he's not supposed to. He doesn't need to. I don't know whether you follow, I will say this and then we invite Steve into the conversation. I don't know whether you followed the show when Chairman Musa Belete was here, the representative of District Number 7. He said, we got nothing to do with this. The president does not need us. He has the right under the Constitution. We knew that before he said it here. He just solidified what we have said here. Monk, Steve, myself, we have said these things over.
Our numbers, yeah.
So maybe you may not be aware of that part. I'm just telling you, yes, indeed. If you think Joseph Boakai does not have the power to create war, to establish War Economic Crime Court, he does. But just trying to kick the can down the road and try to shift blame, shift responsibility, outsource his responsibility to other people. That's why I say this is nothing for me. Even you say agree. If you can tell Librarian right now, even Joseph Boakai, sign the document today, War Crime Court may not come in 1 year, it may not come in 2 years. They will say, but what kind of document that? So that is a red flag, and that is the thing I want you to understand. Joseph Boakai does not need legislation. He can do this directly. He has the power to do it by virtue of the Constitution. Steve,
can I comment before Steve can make a comment, because Steve just showed face? And I just want to reiterate the point you made. We have said it on the show time with our numbers. We signed international treaties, we got laws, we got jurisdiction all over the world that are a little bit different. Maybe you might think that because Sierra Leone court went through legislation. No, for the case of Liberia, we will go by international standard, but our constitution are different. In the case of Liberia, like Sekou said, it was affirmed by Musa Belete. Even Betty Vinsage said the same thing. Even Alan White, that in the case of Liberia, Joseph Boakai can receive the support of the legislature, but we don't need them in the case of Liberia. That Joseph Boakai wields unanimous power to bring in the War Crimes Court in Liberia, even in the absence of a legislation. That's why I told you to repeat your first statement just to get you on the record. Maybe, and Sekou said it right. Apparently, you never understood that portion. You never got it right. But in the case of Liberia, the same standard does not apply to Sierra Leone. So we can use Sierra Leone process as a benchmark for Liberia because we have different constitution. We might play by the same international law, but not the domestic law. That's it. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Thanks to all of you. As always, the Liberian people are the most important people on earth. And most importantly, the Liberian women are the most beautiful women on earth. Today is a happy day. It's a good day, I would say. The reason why it's a good day is we predicted on the show that Nima Kante was going to be flogged. And yes, they were flogged. And so as a Lofien, I am excited. I'm overjoyed. This brings some form of counsel to my brothers and sisters from Gwenjide. I told the Nimarians that the cheating that they did, it will not sustain them. And cheating can never sustain you, especially in sports. When you cheat in sports, it can sustain you. It can just set the ground for the disgrace you later. So today we want to say to the Nimarians that Next year, when you come by, you behave yourself, you don't cheat. And congratulations to Lofa Kante and to Grand Gide. I want to say congratulations to you. You have one of the most beautiful teams in this particular tournament, the Grand Gide team. But they were cheated, they were robbed. That's why we flocked Nima Kante today. But let's move on to the politics. Yeah, I can see my boy Melbourne now in gear now. But hey, brother, we're 15 for you. I told you over we're 15, we're 15. But we're meeting River G, we'll discuss that later on. We'll discuss the River G that we're beginning. We'll face there. We'll face River G. But let's move on to the politics because they played the North End today. You said we so I on the show and decided to leave.
I can't believe, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I can't believe we are talking something very, very, very important of this nature. Then you're wasting our time because you're winning one game.
Okay. Yeah. No, there's something very, very important.
Yeah. Go to the good team, man.
It's not working today. It's not easy. It's not easy. But let's get to the issue.
Because I'm meant to be saying my prayer. That's why.
We
didn't win.
Before I say anything, let me support Sekou Kanen's point. Per the Constitution, let me read it quickly. In Article 57, it talks about some of the authorities of the president. This is what it states. The presidents shall have the power to conduct foreign affairs of the republic. And in that connection, he is empowered to conclude treaties, conventions, and similar international agreements with the concurrence of a majority of each of the House of Legislature. In fact, Joseph Yuma Boaka's power is solidified because both horses concurred, if you can recall. In as much that he does not need them, but it even makes it better on the record because the Senate and the House of Representatives concurred. You know, when you want to do something, you do it. You don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. Dr. Allen White was here with us on this show a few weeks ago. He told the Liberian people, and that recording surfaced all over the place. America never called Joseph Boaka for World Economic Council business. You're here today. America did not call Joseph Boaka. Allen White not called Joseph. Nobody called look for Joseph Boaka. That Joseph Boaka says it. Say he want to do World Economic Council business. If you want to do it, do it. You know, I don't follow you guys because I had to do something. I don't listen to your 0 points. But the point I came in, and Sekou and Monk were trying to tell Sekou Kumar to inform him about is the Constitution. Let me say this. Joseph Yuma Boakai took a step today that was long overdue. Very long overdue. But all the other small, funny writing there or whatever it is, my dear, they're not necessary. They're not necessary. And in Labrador, gonna say, I don't care how the chicken or the goat tie fail on Christmas was they eat it. They think, yeah, it don't need political or any kind of noise. It just needs for you to be a man and make a decision and move on. You can't play both ways. You can't want to kick the thing down the road, but then you want to, because Joseph Boaka won't come to America a few days, so he's trying to make sure he sign that thing. Joseph Boaka not doing all favor. Yeah, he won't come to America a few days. You think American people joking? Let me say this, and I'll be done with this whole thing here, because sometimes you want to give these guys credit, but the way how they can discredit themselves in their own move, it just makes you discouraged. Joseph Boaka not doing Labrador a favor. No, he's not doing Labrador a favor by signing the World Economic Forum. He's not doing no favor. If anybody did Joseph Boakai favor, that the Liberian people will make president at age almost 80, according to him, 80 years old. So we did him a good favor to rescue him. The Liberian people rescued Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai rescued the Liberian people. You know what I mean? To be 80 years old and somebody can make you president. You know what I mean? In this contemporary modern world that we live in. So I'm saying this to say, if Joseph Boakai want to do what is right, let him do what is right. Look, those games that these guys be playing, you know, sometimes you play game at a certain age. But look, when you reach a certain age, let's say for example, old man get caught your hair, feel it bitter and get raw in your hair, it will look funny. Because the age does not call for that. When you reach certain age, you don't play games, you don't do certain things. You understand? Joseph Boakai has all the power and authority. Plus, he was backed by both the Senate and the House of Representatives. So what is the issue here? So if we rescue him, you know, the other time I heard, just quickly, Mr. Kane, the other time I heard on a recording, a hard mark, because he always caught on hard mark, where he was saying Liberian people are beggars. In fact, that's what he said. That's the truth. In fact, the chief beggar who introduced the Liberian people to begging at Joseph Boakai. Oh, you facing your failure, Kroma? Let me tell you how. Because we got on SKTV, we can keep record. Who are begging Stanton for money here? That's not Joseph Boakai. Oh, that now he know Liberian people are beggars? Who are talking about ego learning? That's not Joseph Boakai. Who are begging Costa for money? That's not Joseph Boakai. My brother, nobody's stupid here. We probably get a record on the show. We don't want to bring a record and remind you about what's going on. So if he said the Liberian people are beggars, he's the chief beggar. He can't disrespect the Liberian people because they rescue him and say the Liberian people are beggars. So he's the chief beggar. So we learn begging from him. He the 80-year-old man now. We learn begging from him. What him buy inside. And we can learn from our mind, our part. So we learn from him. We learn begging from him. So if we're begging now, he's in power now. By batting, he can give us more to do. And he was begging before he became president. Maybe when we become president, we'll start begging too. So he need to slow down our people. We rescue him. Let him do the right thing. And we'll support him. All that funny writing and that kicking the thing down the can, trying to kick that thing down the road, kick the can down the road. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. That's all I want to say, Mr. Kane.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you very, very much. I don't know if Sekou want 1 minute before we go to the line. Maybe do you have something to say before we go to Sekou to take calls?
Yes, let me just say thanks
But
to.
you know what? I'm sorry, Mebon. This person called, I think this is Mr. John Man, would have called almost 30 minutes ago. I forgot. You can even maybe he has some kind of information to provide to us before we go to anywhere.
Okay. All right, no problem. Put you on.
Yeah, I'm here.
I apologize, man. I know we've been on hold now for
No problem. No
31
problem.
minutes. Yeah, go ahead.
I understand. Look, listen, Sekou, you know, we got some real wicked people in Liberia calling themselves a politician, and they have concluded that the Liberian people are so stupid that you can just, give them anything. You remember Dillon, Melvin Snow, and the rest of them started perpetuating this same agreement before it happened. They start making it look like the legislature had to write something to make the court happen. Liberian people need to understand, this is not a Liberian court. The legislature has nothing to do with it. This court is based on international human rights law, and Liberian legislature got nothing to do with it. This whole act of sending paper to them for them to approve and this and that, it was just kicking can down the road. But for this guy, Mr. President, to have the nerve today to not only insult the intelligence of the Liberian people, but coming out with a fake document that has nothing to do with the reality of what is. This War Crime Court, all he had to do was to say, United Nations, I agree on behalf of the Liberian people that this could be established in Liberia. He won't have to spend a dime, security, logistics, or employment, the people are going to take care of it. What is so hard if he wanted to do it? He doesn't want to do it. So talking about Mo, don't understand the war crime code with the office of war crime code. Remember, he said the office of war crime code. What is the executive order to do that? The office of war crime code. Who asked you to stand on war crime code? Listen, Liberian people, you need to stop letting these people use you for food. This man has done absolutely nothing. He's scamming you. He's putting a veil over your face. The legislature is totally aware, most of them, and they don't want this war crime code. And Mr. Joseph Walker, I can tell him, you don't make fool out of Uncle Sam. You think you're smart? Times it by 10, they are far smarter than you. You mess with these people, you remember what the ambassador said. When she come back to Liberia, it will not be no play issue. You call the people waste their time and money, come here for you to scam them, talking about office of war crime. Liberia has nothing to do with it. Punish the people, tell the people to punish the people who did the thing, and stand back. But Liberia is going to sit there and let this man put a veil over their faces, and they will be the victim. And not only that, Sekou, he's going to pay everybody there for being a member of this office of war crime court. So not only did he scam you, but he insult you by letting you pay everybody there to
Thank you.
sit there and do absolutely nothing.
Thank you, Mr.
So
Mawulu.
beware,
Thank you.
Liberian people.
Thank you so much. So yes, let's take calls in Liberia. Maybe you want to say something before we take calls from Liberia.
I think no time, so let's just take calls so that Liberian can be part of the show. We want to listen to them as to what they make of the news coming from the president. But quickly, I just wanted to say this to my brother, but all of you already corrected him. So I think so far so good. So now listen, maybe on tomorrow also we'll be able maybe to bring some of the express
They
lawyers.
walk around Koti. We continue to talk about. Jacob Kramer, you're muted. We're not hearing you.
Nobody, you're not correct me. The war crime code that the president passed through the legislature and make sure that the war crimes code come to Liberia. That one, and I agree with you today on the show, and I agree with you tomorrow. So not to say I concord with you people.
No, but you have to agree. We all know that's factual. So whether you agree or not, it's not going to change anything.
And actually, the motive of we coming out to correct the wrong, it was not for you to agree. It was not for you to actually side with us. It's to educate
our audience. To remind
Thank you. That's good. That's the point.
Because right now, whether you say wrong or right, as long as you're saying it in favor of GMB in the government, their supporter, they will say kudos to you. They will praise him for you. But we don't want all our followers and viewers to be misled on information that we already know. And these are very important information. But you don't. We're not forcing you to agree with us, and that's not our intention.
All right. So so quickly. So I think the paper or maybe so our president, I think it's just another waste of time. And for me, quickly, I think I just see that as complete waste of time. We want a code. We want a code. Establishing office, doing this, going back, all those kind of thing. I see that as complete political tactics. Thank you so much.
081 14 35 04 0776 105 105 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105 are the numbers. You put your calls. Let's put you through this evening. 0881 14 35 04. We got the first caller on the line. Hello.
Hello.
Your name, where you calling from?
Hello. Hello.
Your name.
Hello.
Oh my God. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Hello.
Yeah, I'm Emmanuel Doiki. I'm calling from Grand Juda County.
Emmanuel, welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. You know, one of the economists say that if you don't want to do something, don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. You know, Joseph said it. He said, all these things that Joseph Botta is saying, they will not, Worker will not come. Because we inside it, so it will not happen. You know, I think the Papa Pharaoh let people. If he people, it means that we the citizens, we are the one who suffer. Because you know, you can play football in America. You cannot play football in America because these people are the superpower. So the Papa need to be bold. You have to be bold to win the Liberian people. If you not accept Worker Co, tell the Liberian people say I will not accept it because this is the same thing that I told John we have for Empower. So I have something for you to put big both together that because we're all say big both, you put better together, you can fool the Liberian people. If you don't want to say if you don't want to agree, tell the Liberian people say I don't want to agree for Worker Co. Then we know what kind of action to take. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the line. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Your name, where you calling from?
I'm over somewhere and I'm calling from Bomi County.
You call from Bomi?
Yeah, from County.
Welcome, let's hear you.
Yeah, for what I listen to you about analyzing the secretary of our president. So I don't think that president is making fun of all of us as Liberians.
Mm-hmm.
So we are feeling if you feel that he cannot move this country, then he just decide and leave us alone. Then you start to make the common people feel that he's working. But right here now, I'm telling you that people are jubilating that he has signed it or he has signed the people that Worker should come to the country. Because our people will not sit around and ready to understand what is happening at the end of the day. They just go around giving false news to the people. So we are begging him. And I'm telling you people to please help us to even relay information to all the community radio stations. Let them understand what is happening in the community radio station and even bring those things out.
Okay.
Because there are people in Ethiopia that don't know what is happening.
Okay.
The president is fooling us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We take another person. Hello.
Yeah, how you doing, my brother?
I'm okay. Your name, where you calling from?
Nathan Easton, we're calling from Peace Island.
Milton, welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Let me first of all, let me just say big thank to Mr. Nkrumah. He brought light to the show. You see, in life, when politics make people blind, anything the president does, there will be no fail. I will encourage my brother Nkrumah to continue enlightening them so that they can change the way they do things on that show. Nothing better they explain. Why so well he explained, he's 100% right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
If your calls coming, if we get problem, I'm telling you. All right. Keep your calls coming to 081 14 35 04 0776 105 105. This pricing. Hello. Your name, where you calling from? Friend, welcome. Let's hear you, brother.
Yeah, so Sekou, I don't want you to waste the energy on this whole issue of why economic grant quote. We already understand the school of thought or Sekou that is still from. So even if we bring from Jesus Christ to come and explain to them, they will not take it serious. So I just want to appreciate the president for the good start. And we believe that from now on, I know from now to the first month, the World Economic Grant Code will be established in Liberia. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Keep your calls coming to 0881 14 35 04 0776 105 105 0881 14 35 04. This pricing. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. This is Women of Cover FDA Community.
Welcome. Let's hear you, brother.
Thank you for the show. You know, they show from the election time up to this time, for the campaign time up to this time, they show we know they show to be a critical show when it comes to GMB. So we know that GMB will be criticized. Even if you do the good, you'll be criticized. If you do bad, you'll be criticized. We know that. But when it comes to the worker code has to follow the procedure.
Okay.
To establish a worker code is a procedure. You can't work on, you say, oh, he not got to consult the legislature. the legislator to get power. They get say in the signing of the war on code. So they got so the GMB got to follow the procedure. GMB will not be put under pressure. He will do the right thing. So Sekou and the other men there are Steven. So you sit down and criticize. GMB will do what is right. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you so much for pressing. Hello.
Oh,
Your name? Where you calling from? Your Lambado. Please be audible, please, man. Amplify your voice. Abraham, call back if you can. Let's go to the line. Hello.
Hello.
Your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Charles M. calling from Toa Street.
Toa Street in Zweju?
Yeah, around Brush Street there.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
All right. Thank you to our panelists. One of the panelists is mentioning about something is process. Because even if the president have that absolute power there, to establish the code, some people will be saying the president used dictatorship. So that was making the men going by the process small for everything to be a democratic way. Since this country is a democratic country, that was going step by step. So if we're going that way, people shouldn't be taking it to be different.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's take another pricing. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Yeah. Let me say hi. Good evening to you guys.
Please amplify your voice. You're too low, brother.
Yeah, let me say good evening to you guys. The name is Kipa Gatelme, and I phone this evening phone. So thank you very much for this show, and I think
we are finding it very difficult to get you, brother.
Hello. Good evening.
Your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, I said my name is Kitash Gatelme, and this evening from Portugal.
Okay.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you are okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me start thanking to you guys. I think very important. It's just sometimes opinions are not factual, and I think a lot of like video because freedom of speech is something that is very entertaining. However, I think as a panelist, sometimes you have to be very good when trying to get attention of your audience, especially to the person of the program.
Brother, I beg you, man. Call back so that you can be very much clear.
And then we want to take a few more calls because we have to, discuss what the people are saying, so that way, we can.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Sekou.
Your name? Where you calling from?
Well, I'm Wulu Steven. I call from Dole Street.
Wulu Steven, welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. Brother, the topic on the discussion is important. For us, the issue about the war crime code is important. But what would be the outcome of those that were during the war? Our father, as I speak, my father was slaughtered about 1990, and my mother was killed in Biboka. So we did them, and they kind of go there now. They going to prosecute them. What would really be our things that the government will be discussing? Because they're facing a whole lot of trauma, and now they kind of use coming up. All the people that are parents, they see people there now, they discourage them to carry them to code. All people defend. So for me tonight, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll take this pricing. Hello?
Yes. This is Brown Tati from Monrovia.
Brown Tati, welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you. I follow the panel, the other callers. In my opinion, Labro Palava had to talk. And exactly as Ronito. But I want to agree with one of the panel who spoke last, taking all. So, most of the people that are supposed to go to the war crime court as we perceive or as it is, to the one war crime court on behalf of the Liberian people. So I think the president got to be well intentioned to just write the United Nations, put it there,
the agreement of the Liberian people and that they can bring in the war crime code. And they will choose, they have the technical know-how. The one, was stated in Sierra Leone, in or Rwanda, Kosovo, and other areas. But if we say we will do our own thing, like establishing office of the war crime code, appointing executive director, they got to work with justice minister. Why is the case will not get funding tomorrow? Even our budget cannot even go for spend it this country. Lead to say the for me, President got to be well-intentioned. Just write the United Nations and tell them of the Liberian people by resolution signed by the both houses who represent the hope and aspiration of the Liberian people. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's join Sekou so we can go over.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Monk, do you want to react to the callers before?
You know, I keep saying on the show, most of the time, the reason we found difficulties in Liberian politics, people just don't know when to play politics. The third caller was the one that actually got my attention. For me, I tell them, looking at the technicality, looking at all the games that has been playing, if you want to consider a game, I'm just giving them the benefit of the doubt. But looking at the technicality, there are people that are raising contention, so as you. And he said something profound. He said, our people in the interior, they don't know what's going on because you got people here jubilating. But the reality, it seems to be contrary to what they are doing. So he wants us to follow up with the whole discussion, maybe bring some other legal luminaries, whether Dr. Allen White can show up on the show again to clarify this thing, because for some people, they be like, okay, Joseph Boakai made a move from the symbolic standpoint, from an optical standpoint, it might look like that's it. But looking at the technicality, it's like he playing games in reverse. Alec Collins said they call it the asymmetrical method. You're doing it, but you're doing it from the opposite side and giving people the impression. So we need to go further into this thing to really, really explain again, maybe on another segment of the show on another day, that this thing is not what you think it is. But like I said, I maintain my position. For the fact that he could make that bold step to say, now what, I'm open to the World Economic Crime Court by issuing an executive order, I will give him the benefit of the doubt until we can start having a reason to say, you know what, this thing is a complete laughing stock. And that's what we are here for. Escape is not going anywhere. Now, one thing I noticed yesterday, right? The press conference the president had in giving an update on the 100-day deliverable. If you look at the talking point, because I got a transcript, that's why I say I'm interested in transcript and speeches. Speeches are all about optics. You don't get the detail. But when the president gave the speech, go and sit down and just go through the transcript. They were totally contrary to the 100-day deliverable. And one guy said it right. Our politicians make decisions in Liberia with the expectation that the vast majority of people are so stupid that they don't know exactly what they are doing. So they do the thing intentionally, knowing fully well that, you know what, they got a few guys that will be talking here and there on the social media, on radio, but the vast majority of people that are being affected, they have no clue. So we can do these things. And that's exactly what Joseph Boakai did. He pinpointed here and there, but when you look at it, because my understanding is when you give a 100-day deliverable, that I'm supposed to tackle 12 major issues, which I know is impossible from day one, because I don't know what any president that come with 12 bullet points on issue. Every president in human history that established themselves to be successful in the country, that you don't want one or two things. I always give examples. Even when you come to America, the great Franklin Roosevelt, it was just about entitlement program, Social Security, Medicare. They didn't do a lot of things. Dwight Eisenhower, the interstate highway system. Every president come with one or two things to tackle to leave a legacy. They don't come with 12 issues because they know that you cannot scatter your energy. You got to be focused on few important things that will set your legacy, in stone. And that's exactly what the president did. I'm not saying that what he's doing on the issue of war, but looking at the transcript this morning and comparing it with the 100-day deliverable, like, you know what, this is deception at the highest level, because all the things you are highlighting, like you pick pointing, you ignoring the rest of the issue you talk about.
Mom, before you conclude, you remember yesterday I said, looking at what we know, looking at what we saw, I said everything the president said, nothing makes sense, because it was not even nothing. It was
in alignment with the deliverable, the shit that the document you presented.
Yeah, nothing. They said nothing about the deliverable, nothing absolutely.
And that's exactly what the caller said. That these guys make decisions with the assumption that the vast majority of our people won't have the slightest clue, so we can just abuse them because they're supposed to be stupid and we can do anything we want to do. That's exactly what keeps happening in our brain politics.
So Steve, You wanted to take a few calls here before we continue because maybe.
Yeah, I want to react first before we take the calls.
Yeah, before we take calls. Okay,
yeah,
go
before
ahead.
I want to react to something.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we'll try our best to revisit the 100 days deliverable in conjunction with this War and Economic Crimes Court. We'll try to do that. The thing I wanted to say, Mr. Kane, is Joseph Yuma Boaga only had to sign 2 documents. And he has those documents. One for the UN, and one is the order that he will issue. The Liberian government had nothing to do, or should have nothing to do with the World Economic Crimes Code. All that office of this, office of that Joseph Boaga, in connection with some members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, they the one decided to do that.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll get into the details. We'll bring your story then outside here. And we say we want to take it easy so that we all can work together to move the country forward. You think everybody will be stupid? We inside now. Because what you're doing, like Monk said, you think everybody just don't know what's going on. And everybody will just go with the flow. No, we'll not do that. Now, all I want to say, Mr. Kane, we can take calls.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take this call over here. 445. Last 4 digits, 7818. 7418.
Thank you very much, Brother Sekou Kene. Let me say good afternoon to all of your panelists and your followers.
Thank you.
My name is Bilal Soare, and I join you from Philadelphia. And let me say thank you to you guys for the platform.
Thank you.
And basically, we understand that Liberia is a democratic state. The issue of democratic view on basic issues should be something that we should encourage. But I wanted to make clarity on that Article 56 you guys have been reading. Mm-hmm. It is important at times when we criticize, we should not forget to know that people are listening and they will make verification on some of the things you said. Mm-hmm. Article 57 is very clear. Mm-hmm. I don't think you guys were in depth to give the people the basic understanding.
Okay.
They say the president shall have the power to conduct the foreign affairs of the republic, and in connection is in power to conduct treaty conventions and similar international agreements with the concurrence of the majority of each house of the legislature. Mm-hmm. So basically, what you come around to say Sekou is wrong, Sekou Nkrumah is wrong. All by saying that the president should do it in concurrence with the 2 houses. And that is the procedure to get some of these basic things done. So I don't get it. Sekou did not agree that what you guys said. I understand that we should criticize things. Thank you for getting that courage and telling the Liberian people that you agree and you want to get the benefit of the doubt to the president, mm-hmm. because I don't want us to make certain conclusions. In Liberia, we have always known for politicizing everything, even from the very leader that we supported. They always politicizing that, which I don't want to erase from Liberia.
So before you leave,
yeah,
are you aware that both houses have concurred, agreed that Joseph Boakai Liberia should have one economic crime court in Liberia?
I agree.
So why is Joseph Boakai sending it back to them?
Exactly.
The procedure as to how a bill should be.
Come on, man. This is not bill. This is not bill, my brother.
It's a resolution. It's a resolution.
This is a resolution. It's not a bill. No, but we got there's no one truth. We can circumvent the truth. We can call it alternative fact, whatever way you want to call it, but just one truth. If you say it the right way, for the first time you can understand it. But people can choose to have selected hearing and selective understanding. Whatever befit their own interpretation, that's what they want you to hear. Let's go with your own analogies. Well, the president should do it in concurrence with the legislature of both houses. We already have the process. So what else do you need? Why are you sending it back to them again?
Thank you for giving me the chance right now. I know you are the host.
Yeah, go ahead.
Selective, not selective. and what's the economically choice of what you want to use. But the Constitution is very clear. In concurrence is a procedure. It's not part of only resolution. It has to do with you to get this code being established. So what is in that particular article that tell you that the president have the independent or and as an executive has only that power to establish the war and economic crime? What is in that statement? Can you vividly explain that to us? So let's be careful. I understand that your platform is doing well in terms of putting government on track, but we should always acknowledge things when it happens. This president, what he has done today, no president has ever done in the past. I'm trying to be corrected.
Okay.
To sound the executive order 131 to get this thing done, it is a clause to the process. It is not agree.
So you think?
Things, and it will not be done like tomorrow, like we're thinking. No. It is the process, and the process will be done. For the fact that there are some steps taken into that process, we should acknowledge this thing and say it to our people. We should not be opposition.
So let me ask you. Do you think this should have been today an Joseph Boakai establishing an agreement to establish War and Economic Crime Code, or it should be Joseph Boakai is agreeing to establish Office of War and Economic Crime Code?
Do I agree with what?
Do you think this should have been Joseph Boakai establishing War and Economic Crimes Code, or Joseph Boakai establishing Office of War and Economic Crime Code that will establish the War and Economic Crime Code?
So like and I'm saying again, it is the process.
Okay,
in
thank you.
establishing War and Economic Crime Code, there are procedures, there are steps.
Okay.
The business step will go upon. So let's applaud the government for that. When
No.
it does the wrong, we're gonna say it.
No problem. No problem. Thank you very
I think that's the right of everybody. Everybody has the right to their opinion.
No problem. We appreciate your input as well.
Thank you as well.
So let's go to this person here. 763 number, last 4 digits 7242. Are you there? Your voice is low. We're not hearing you. We are not hearing you.
Are you getting me?
Yeah, much better.
Thank you, Shaky. This is Elvis calling from Minnesota.
Go ahead.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate the show. I follow your show. It's a nice program. Let's be honest. Everybody. When I say everybody, but I was in opposition to this president. But I must give him kudos. It's been 23. The end of our civil war, and this is perhaps the closest or the most action we've had on the establishment of a war crimes court. So we must give him credit on that regards. The reality is, we know that court processes take so long. So you only have 6 years, and some of these cases can go up to 4 or 5 years. So the process of implementing actually finalizing the setting up of this war crime court is important, and it needs to be expedited. That's what we're looking at. But I think all the actions the president has taken so far is in the right direction, and we must commend him for that, even though I don't support him. So like the other callers were saying, Siku, Steve, and other guys on the show, let's be fair to him. He's taking a step. He signed it. He's giving an executive order, and we can talk about it and discuss it.
So my brother, from your own perspective, how do you understand this particular, not just the phrase executive order, or what do you make of this particular executive order? Do you think this, as written, is actually what Liberian people are expecting? Now forming and it's now establishing War and Economic Crimes Code, but planning to appoint an executive director. The executive director that will not be independent, that are going to be working and reporting to the Ministry of Justice.
Thank you.
After that means, do you think this is what Liberian people expect? And to even say that the War and Economic Crime Code may not be established today, not even, it possibly could go to next 2-3 years, depending how they want to go with it. Do you think this is what Liberian people expected?
Right, I would say perhaps not, but most of us Liberians, we just think things will happen so quickly. But let me say this: The president, what he's doing right now is to say he's establishing an office, right, and having to appoint an officer in that office, and that person will work, in concurrence with the Ministry of Justice, so that if they give us the scope of this court, it will be under Liberian law. So the Minister of Justice will advise that person that you can't put this there. It's outside of the our constitution. You should put this there. It's permissible in our constitution. So those guys will kind of.
So let me educate this guy.
So
Let
establish.
me educate you on something.
All
Let me
right.
inform you something, caller.
Still want to inform you on. Still want to. Yeah, you may want to leave it there. You left the line, so you they don't have to be on the line for you to educate.
So let's just inform the public on something quick. Just one minute, Mr. Kane. The first thing we got to understand is this: Liberia cannot be in control of the War and Economic Crime Court. No, because it will be biased. It has to be an international. That's why it's called War and Economic Crime Court, and not Liberia Crime Court or the Liberia War Court. You're misunderstanding this whole thing because Joseph Boakai and decided to deceive you again. This is a plan. This is a strategy that Joseph Boakai decided to do. There is no way the War and Economic Crime Court can have Liberia Justice Minister or somebody reporting to him. You don't make any sense. It doesn't work that way. But to tell you they want to play these little games and to push this thing around, that's all they're doing all of this for. To create more confusion where there should be no confusion. This thing was very clear when Mr. Ali White came here. We had this conversation. We asked him who will be in charge of the court, how it will work. That Liberia funding the court? That Liberia paying for it? So some things there are common sense, man, my people. Let not come here and can't try to defend things that you can defend and just make yourself a little funny in the town. They think simple. Don't fall for this trick. Nobody thanking Joseph. Me, I'm not thanking Joseph Boakai for that. Joseph Boakai, I'm playing games with me, and I sit and I say, thank you. I know there's somebody who's settle for less.
So, Steve, to agree with you, Joseph Boakai government, they intend to listen to the Liberian people is a good thing, but you got to be honest about it. Liberian people want this. Joseph Boakai probably wants it, but for some reason, Joseph Boakai does not show. I think we are not talking, just mute yourself. Anybody who's causing noise. I'm hearing a lot of noise in the background. Okay, thank you. So Joseph Boakai government, they have a lot of people they are working with. So it's very hard for Joseph Boakai to be effective and be an actionable leader, given what he's going through. Decisions are now made by Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai they can present to him what they have agreed, what they have written, what they have decided to move with. And he has no choice. He himself gave the power to those people, including those people who don't want to see War and Economic Crimes Court in Liberia. But what we are seeing right now, what they just did, they try to con the United States government. They try to trick the United States government and the United Nations and the international community. One first thing they're trying to do, let's pretend as we are doing it, so we can get the funding. They're pretending like they are doing it so they can get the funding. Because they will say, we have established the office of the War Crime Court, not the War Crime Court. The office of the War Crime Court. For a common man, they would think like the War Crime Court has come or is coming. Office of the War Crime Court. What kind of office? Okay, Joseph Boakai going to open some kind of office, appoint executive order. That person will be working on these things. And they listed a host of things that that person going to do, including drafting legislation. Legislator, then tell you, say you have the power to establish War and Economic Crime Code. Both houses voted. You have the number. You gave you their blessing. All you needed to do now, executive order and signing the document going to the United Nations Security Council President. We have, in fact, on tomorrow, we will publish all the documents that gave birth to this whole idea of War and Economic Crimes Code. We are not talking about the TRC. We are talking about the document that is with the United Nations, the document that is with the United States government, the document that's supposed to give birth to the establishment and the process, even the funding, how it's going to work. We'll start to publish them. And we'll be talking about these things every day, just for the purpose of educating our people. This thing, what they call executive order, is trash. It's nothing. It's meant to fool the people, to tell them, so Joshua Bakastan executive order. This is not executive order. When, let me tell you today, if you contact the United States Special Envoy or Ambassador at Large, Bert Versace, what was his name? Versace?
Bert Versace.
Bert Versace. If you ask her, the executive order that they were expecting, this is not the one.
No, I'm not here.
This is something that these guys put together. Only those guys that don't want to see War and Economic Crime Code, those guys that pacified Prince Johnson and told him, say, don't worry about it. We got this thing. We're all going to stand this thing here, but we're not going to go anywhere. And in fact, you know, when we talk about the other plan here the other day, when we told you that they were planning, they say, let's go for it, let's do whatever we got to do, let's just back up, go and sign and do this, do that. Then one of us will challenge it to the court, and the court will deem it unconstitutional.
Yeah.
So the conversation will continue to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They will put on the docket for 3, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. They will talk about it again. They will go by again. They will continue to keep the can down the road. In the end, nothing will happen for the Liberian people. When we talk about that here, they try to go by again to the drawing board to come with the other trash that they just presented to the Liberian people. This is not War and Economic Crimes Code document. I will take 2 more calls, then we will talk, you know, we'll call it a day. I have 2 people here. I think one of them is international. Hello, I think this is Abraham from Norway. Hello. Hello, how are you? You're doing great. Go ahead.
You know, most of the time with you guys, also majority of the time when it comes to the issue of Joseph Boakai. But I would like, in my opinion, take the signing of this office for War Crime Court or the passing of the executive order for the office of the establishment of War Crime Court. Just by now read the documents. In my opinion, I think the government offices will be in the affairs of their offices. So I think there is a need for us to have a different office that is going to coordinate the activities with respect to how this War Economic Crimes Code will be established. These are the people who will be contacting whether the international community. We do not know what is happening behind the scenes. international community is on him. This office is going to coordinate the activities. What is needed for the role of the Liberian government, that is the role that the Liberian government has to play, and the CPO that will sit down and discuss it and do the coordination, because the Ministry of Justice will have to be contemplating with the local justice system, and it can be occupied with the war and economic crime code issue. So I think the owner has the executive order to avoid the bureaucracy going to the Senate to give it room and this and that. So I just want us to be patient and giving the time. If you put the Liberian people is on his back, ego.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Take the last caller, and then we just talk about it a little bit and we call it a day. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. My name is Dee. I'm calling from Rhode Island.
Your name is?
D.
B?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
D-E-E.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I called the other day, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm listening to about the World Economic Crime Code in order that it's a bittersweet, a bitter moment for the past history, the atrocity that took place, and just the whole thing going about it. So what I gotta say to this is that just watching the way the Unity Party going about things and how they are doing it, it shouldn't involve politics into this. It's just about a ready-made business, and he's gonna do this. Let him do it wholeheartedly, because you can't come and open a whole wound that people are. A lot of Liberians are still traumatized by the war. Some of all were baby when the war started, so we don't really know much to watch YouTube video or ask our parents. So I just pray that the Unity Party will not play politics with it, but because what I'm seeing right now, transparent with them. They're doing a lot of things for showtime. They're doing a lot of things for accolades. But with this economic crime, war economic crime, especially the war aspect, they need to do it. Just like they need to do it to really do it the right way. Not just people find anything and say, put that there so you can add that to your list. And I listen to some of his people calling. They are talking about, oh, let's just employ the party. Let's just employ the party. But our people are so gullible. They are not educated when it comes to understanding stuff. They just believe anything politicians say to them. And then they see people tomorrow be causing Joseph about that. Oh, he say you're going to do the economical. He's doing. So let them explain it. And I see where people you're coming from and where Mark is coming from. Educate the citizen what you are doing. And I think the people that are calling, they're not understanding that. They say you're criticizing. It's not about the credit, but just be transparent with the people. Because the way they're going about things, even the 100-day delivery yesterday, it was just a facade. And I hope they can switch gear and be honest. But there's a lie. There's so many things going on that's just not right. And this is not time for us to continue to play politics. But let's do our people justice, because Liberia is fragile and we are behind, so behind to be playing politics. So the Unity Party needs to do better. And the caller, Bella Sare, that call, I see on the late night show of the Spoon, you telling the other people to not criticize. But you guys are not always balanced on your show. You're always start with yourself, even in the room. I heard you often when it came to the fire issue. So you can't eat your cake and have it. That's just what it is. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Well, Steve, we can now react to these callers. Monk, do you have something to say? Monk, are you there? All right, Steve, do you want to react to the callers?
Yes, like the sister just said, some of these guys, some of their voices are recognizing.
Yeah. Yeah, the last caller just nailed it, You cannot play politics all the time. For me, I maintain my position. Because when you read the executive order, it's like a bag of mixed fruit. That it looked like they're trying to do it right. And then when you look at it, you want to be tactical. You see, the one thing I understand, I'm not a legal luminary, but I understand basic. This document were written in plain and simple English. The one thing I understand when they say a hybrid code. A hybrid code means you have the local component and the international component of a hybrid code. That's one thing people need to understand. But equally so, a hybrid code operates within the jurisdiction of where the crime occurred. So when you read the Joseph Boaga executive order here, or segment of the executive order, let me just highlight that portion. Hold on 1 second, Sekou. Where it talk in the provisions here. 3 things it said in 3 and 4. It says the mandate duration term in operation of the Office of War Crimes Code shall come to an end and cease to function upon the full establishment, functioning, and coming into effect operation of the Special War Crimes Code for Liberia and Anti-Corruption Code of Liberia. Nothing in this executive order shall be interpreted or interfere with or hinder or diminish any right of any Liberian citizen. Then the last one, it said the Office of World Economic Crimes Code shall report to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, but shall be semi-independent. Semi-independent in the case means it's a hybrid code. It means that it will be partial. It means that the Liberian aspect of the War and Economic Crime Code, they will be independent into that, because it said shall be semi-independent, divorced of any and all political interference, regardless strictly by legal consideration, because it's a 2 segment to this code, international and the local. So in this regard, I hope people shouldn't interpret semi-independent to mean that the person will be playing politics and making report to Joseph Boaga or his justice minister. They're just saying the Liberian aspect of the code will be independent, because we know there is an international aspect. For me, as I said in the beginning, there are reasons to raise red flag, but at this stage, I will let Joseph Boaga to show me your hands and prove to me SKTV is not going anywhere. We are here almost 7 days a week. Whenever there is a signal or an alarm that these guys are ready to play politics, someone will be the first one to call it up. But at this stage, no, I will give them the benefit of the doubt until they can show me their hands.
Gentlemen,
so that's my position.
Mong, I was trying to say something. Then Sekou will come in. So, whether this is semi-independent or not.
Sekou, are you muted?
I'm not muted. Can you guys hear me? Actually, Mong, you're not hearing me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, Mong, I was saying something. You're not hearing me. Mong is not hearing me. Mong, can you hear me? Yeah, Mong is not hearing me. All right. Mong is not hearing me.
I'm hearing you.
Okay. So you have something. Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that whether it says semi-independent or not, the fact that they are saying Joseph Boaga is not talking about establishing a war crime code, establishing office of the war crime code that will establish a war crime code and that will be reporting to the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General. The fact that they say that takes away the independence of the War and Economic Crimes Code.
Yes.
And beyond that, everything that office is going to put together, it will include a legislation that must be approved again after the people already gave their blessing to you. Go ahead and establish the War and Economic Crimes Code, but they must be established again. Maybe or approved again by the same people, the same house. I can guarantee you, this is meant to get the process going so they can get some of the money for it. Down the line, they will keep dragging it. It's not going to go nowhere. I can tell you that.
So Mr. Connor, just before we leave, let me say this. That my first time, maybe the records are there. You can educate me and inform me. I'm willing to learn. To even hear you having a War and Economic Crime Code, and then the people be reporting to the Attorney General.
Yeah.
You're making any sense. You're going to read it and people stand inside Joseph Boaga and take picture. We're not going to read the fine print. You're really think that the level we're going to go on. And then all are going to come on SKTV. Oh, yes, President Joseph Boaga, that prison man. The man making record and making history. He will make record on y'all. He will make history on y'all. That I mean. That I mean. It will not work. It will not work. Anything you write, I can read it. Anything anybody writes, I can read it. Look, I don't care how long, how big it can be. I can take my own time and sit and read it and digest it. You want to get Joseph Boakai the benefit of the doubt? That's fine. You want praising? That's fine. You want thanking? That's fine. But we are saying, and we'll bring the record on the show, this is not the agreement that Joseph Boakai had. This is not how you proceed with one economic crimes court. There should be an independent court. When I say independent, it means independent. So that nobody can feel they're picking and choosing. The reason why you see even the TRC document, there are conflicts or whatever it is because you know what happened? Some Liberians who were part of the TRC refused to sign it. It created doubt. Let me tell you something. You want one economic crime court, you want more people accountable in that country? Don't put it in our Liberian people hand. And that's what Joseph Boakai they won't do. They won't play these little games. And the team America will get any money. But tomorrow we'll get into details. We'll leave it here for today. Tomorrow we'll get into detail. We'll tell you what they got it up to. We'll tell you.
In fact, not only we'll get into detail, we'll read to the people tomorrow as to how the document Joseph Boakai had that is completely different from this one to tell you how they want this war economic crimes code to be. How it's supposed to be look like. How, I mean, this thing is very simple. The establishment of the code does not require Joseph Boakai establishing any other office for that purpose. Just give the blessing. And those, the way he called Allen White knows exactly what they did to establish the special code for Sierra Leone. Put the people in the United Nations hand. Work with United States, African Union, European Union, the UN to go through the process. And in that document, they said you're going to have two codes. The trial code and the appeal code. The trial code will comprise of 3 judges. One will be appointed by Liberia. They didn't say executive director. One will be appointed by the United Nations. And one will be appointed by the United States. You're going to have 8 judges. The trial court will have 3 judges. And the appeal court will have 5 judges. The 5 judges for the appeal court, one will be appointed by Liberia, one by the United States, one by the United Nations, one by African Union, and one by ECOWAS. And the appeal court, the president, the head of the appeal court will be the president of the court. The appeal court will be the higher court that will control the entire court. So if something goes wrong in the trial court, the appeal court can override that. They didn't say Joseph Boakai will appoint executive director. The executive director will go and form a legislation, and legislation will go to Liberian people legislature. They will sign it. That's not what it is. But like Steve said, we don't have enough time today. We will definitely dig deeper into this thing tomorrow and beyond.
Tomorrow, you don't want to miss the show. The show will be hot.
Just before we take a leave, I read something earlier. Sierra Leone and Liberia have different constitutions. That's why I keep saying I will get the benefit of that. We were arrived. We will know when somebody tried to play games. It was Ahmed Tijan Kaba that officially wrote the United Nations to establish the code.
And that's how it works. That is part of the process.
Yes. So we will get there.
So what Joseph Boakai should have done? Look, Monk, there are 2 documents. What Joseph Boakai should have done, one should be an order. And that order shouldn't have all the funny things that I read in. It should just be this order that states the president, in concurrence with the legislature, on this day, time, AD, whatever, have agreed to establish the War and Economic Crime Code, and they gave the location, whatever it is. Then you, that's in the letter. He has copy of both letters. The letters were drafted. Joseph Boakai got a copy. Tomorrow will be.
No, I'm telling you that, and you know,
story.
I was saying it when you guys cut me off.
Yeah. Boakai got a copy of what he's supposed to sound for the United Nations.
Yeah.
And he got a copy of the one that's supposed to go to the President of the United States. And Joseph Boakai also got a copy of what supposed to be signed by the head of the Senate and what's supposed to be signed by the Speaker of the
Speaker. He has it.
And SKTV got all the document too.
Plenty of people will get it and will look. We're not talking out of President Washington.
You know, the reason I brought that up, like I said, because it's a hybrid code and we got two different constitutions, but like you guys said, the procedure remains the same.
Yes.
Even the constitutional aspect is different. Because in the case of Sierra Leone, Ahmed Tidiane Kaba on the 12th of June, he officially wrote United Nations. Kofi Annan received the letter, and on August 10th of 2000, he forwarded it to the UN Security Council, and they adopted a resolution from the letter. When the resolution was adopted, then before they were able to work with the Sierra Leone government to establish the code.
Yes.
So if the army is trying to play him, trust me, we will still get him. But I just, like I said, we give him the benefit of the doubt because it seems like that way is leaning toward, even though because the process remains the same for the establishment. The constitutional aspect might be different, but the way how you establish the code, and that's exactly what you said. Joseph Boakai knows the document that he received, that he was giving, and he knows exactly what to do. But the step is somehow suggesting that, and people have reason to raise the objection. Well, you know what? Tomorrow we're doing another day. We here. We ain't going anywhere. We'll get to the bottom of this thing. That's why the people hate SKT.
Somebody say, Joseph Boakai want to take a draft the Allen White. The Allen White in the library. And Joseph Boakai going, look, these things are already, let me tell you something, these things are pre-planned, they're written, these documents. Joseph Boakai he never needed to write any kind of letter. Let me tell you right now. Those letters are already there, you don't need to sign it. Let me tell you now. To tell you that how they pacing on your head and telling you say you're reading. The documents, they have it. Normally get it. Fonapikova get it. Joseph Boakai get it. Yes, three of them have it. Let it come and say that lie. Challenge it.
The whole thing about playing game, there's my reservation stays there. If Joseph Boakai is going to be the one to make a phone call to Allen White, other international partner that he's on board with War and Economic Crimes Code, and those people, they responded to his request by being on board, by soliciting all the support in terms of resources and the financing. Why would you want to play game again after showing signal? That's one thing. I can get it.
Because politically, he's pressured. Let me tell you something. Let's say who have always said, Joseph Boakai is not in control. Let me tell you, the reason I can argue with you publicly is because these same people who are in control made the Labrampo know from the beginning, through the Labrampo, that Joseph Boakai was in control, you were going to be in control. But Joseph Boakai is incoherent, he's not in control of this government. You're here today. He is not in control. And so all of this rigmarole that you see happening, that is seeing crooked people who want to appeal to Prince Johnson there, and other people there, that's it. This is all this is about. If it left with Joseph Boakai won, Joseph Boakai a dead away man, he didn't care. He was saying nothing. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you today. Whether you agree with Costa or not, Costa made a prediction that was clear. And that prediction was Prince Johnson will be turned over in a heartbeat. Look, some things are predictable. Behaviors can be predictable based on trends and patterns. And so, look, it left with Joseph Boakai won. Joseph Boakai got nothing to lose. He's not running again. You know who them playing all these shenanigans? Now they put in who are wrong. 2029. That 2029 they're trying to secure that what we only read my role. That 2029. So they're not Joseph Boakai. But guess what? Joseph Boakai is the president. So Joseph Boakai was the one that called Allen White long time before the election, second round. Joseph Boakai called Allen White. And Joseph Boakai knows about it. He knows this is an agreement. In fact, when Joseph Boakai came here, when we were smoking out of Rhode Island, and he came to Washington, D.C., when he had what a guy behind him, what the other guy named, this Senator Renner, Amara Conner, and the other people. When Joseph Boakai met with other serious-minded people, the World Bank leaders and other people, do you know the commitment Joseph Boakai gave over there? Joseph Boakai agreed to turn the whole one economic. That was one of the binding connections and issues that were on the table. Joseph Boakai agreed with, how to beat. Let Amara Conner come and say that lie. He went in our meeting. Let him come and say that lie. So what we are saying in essence is this. These guys who want to run 2029 are stalling this process for political expediency. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else. And the most important thing they want, you know what they want? Like Sekou said, the thing that small children are dealing with, they want to be collecting the money small, so that they can fund the election themselves in position.
The finance their campaign.
Yeah.
To take money in the process.
So that's what they own.
What they want, but they think they can fool everybody. Like Mr. Magolo said, these guys, the politicians in Liberia, they believe that majority of Liberians are stupid.
Yeah.
That's, they believe. That's how they can work. That's how they can do everything. That's
it.
why they do things then that you can see in any other country.
But they put data with their own budget, Sekou. The people forget about agriculture and tourism, and they say, oh, we gave education 4 million or 5 million. But I mean, agriculture, I think, but still, if you got a budget of 692 million, and you say agriculture is a pillar of your vision and your dream for Liberia under the arrest agenda, 5 million is still a drop in the bucket for agriculture. But guess what? The first opposed it, DeLong, because he think that people so see it as an increment. Because, like I said, they make decision with the assumption that the vast majority of people are so stupid to understand anything that they can ignore the people who can really see through it. They'll be like, y'all can see it, but you're not in the majority to make any major decision in this country. So who cares? That's it.
And day before yesterday, just day before we go, do you know that Joseph Boakai was very clear and said that he doesn't care about what people saying on Facebook and social media?
He said it. I think I saw something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
in the local news, in the daily, in the paper, that people will talk on Facebook. That's what he said. That's why he made.
Guess what?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Guess what, Mr. Kane?
Yeah.
Guess what? He not being truthful. He cares.
Yeah, but the reason why he's saying that, he's trying to tell you that he's been following the social media.
Exactly. He cares.
And you know what? Whatever you say is not going to move me. It's not going to change my decision.
Yeah, that's what he meant.
That's what he meant.
And that people shouldn't pay attention to the people that are on social media that are trying to highlight these things.
Yeah, especially SKTV. I know that.
We'll be cool. We'll see. And Joey they say the same thing here. That Joey will be talking funny me. That who now come and as the DJ can be bouncing.
So here's the fun part of today's story, Mr. Thank you very much. Appear in the local daily today.
What they thank you very much go and on social media that in church where?
Yeah,
no, let me ask you where they thank you very much go that in church? And on social media, we understand. We
Mr. Thank you very much to the people. He regretted he went to the people of Lofa County that they made a wrong choice because they never gave him access to the president and they never bought him a power sword that he requested.
The message today happened because Mike Jawate took him. They went to Mama Ability office.
Yeah, okay.
And they promised him some things. So it happened and he said he's happy.
Oh, he changed. Okay, he flipped already. He wanted a power sword.
Mr. Kane, that one thing to promise and another thing to deliver. So we're not worried about that. We'll see.
Yeah, no.
That statement Joseph Boakai made,
yeah.
We'll know who don't care about social media or who cares about social media. If Donald Trump
do all the show,
Joe Biden
almost every day.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and other serial-minded leader then. You understand the power of anyway, like that business. I don't want waste my time with them.
They know. They're just trying to tell you whatever you say, it's not going to change our move. It's not going to change our decision. We are doing what we're doing, and those of them that control Joseph Boakai, that's what they challenge to say.
He might not watch tomorrow show. We might not watch tomorrow show because tomorrow show will be that.
Watch it.
Don't watch it. Don't watch too much. We'll bring your story there. Don't watch it. But I can't. We'll put our feeling later. What doing? I come here.
Okay.
Yeah, I come so we can do some. You know, that we just speak on the funnel.
But Mom,
you're not making man.
Mommy, man, anything else before we go?
Nothing else tomorrow. I get reminding my people my offering basket will be coming around. Tomorrow is Friday. You guys been very, you guys fell short of your 2 weeks in a row, which is uncommon on SKTV. So tomorrow morning, tomorrow is Friday.
Tomorrow said, why the show will be hard? Then you got to remind the people.
Tomorrow we will deliberately withhold some information on that offering basket can reach to the top of the list, before we start releasing it little by little, we start doing it drip by drip. They got
I will see y'all.
All right, gentlemen. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, man, guys. Take care.
All right, Mom. Thank you so much, my man. So, my people, thank you. We appreciate your time. We appreciate the support. We appreciate you being here, throughout. Joseph Boakai knows and he understands the power of social media and all media. Let me tell you this today. A lot of people were here, even in different places, jubilating that Joseph Boakai not signed the War and Economic Crimes Code because they didn't understand. But from this show today, watch all the media outlets, including print and other radio stations. Watch. People now have a chance to take a second look because a lot of people don't read, they don't understand, and they don't know. Joseph Boakai is playing a game with the Liberian people. I'm calling Joseph Boakai name because he's the president. But the people who are managing Joseph Boakai, who are controlling him, they are not being fair to the Liberian people. They are doing disservice to the Liberian people. And that is very unfortunate. But again, we'll be here tomorrow. We'll talk about this War and Economic Crimes Code. And hopefully, you all will be here with us. Thank you so much. And these guys who are defending Joseph Boakai, some of the young people, some of our friends, you guys are doing well, but you're not helping Joseph Boakai, and you're not helping the Liberian people. The best way you can defend Joseph Boakai is to advise him to do what is right and speak against the wrong things and be honest to yourself and to the Liberian people. But what you guys are doing, you guys are just making for nothing noise, but it's not going to help you. Yeah, I'll say Gongano, we saw the $10 that he's just sent. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. We have told everybody here. It doesn't matter the amount. Whatever you send to SKTV, we appreciate it. Even that $1. This guy been sending $10 and they're almost, for the past few days, almost every day, he cannot send $10. So $10 times 5, that's $50 right there. Even though you're not sending $50 once, but that's a lot. Anything you send to us, we appreciate it. So thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to another show tomorrow. And we will definitely talk about the War and Economic Crimes Code tomorrow. We'll provide some documentation and we'll be posting documents on our page. Thank you all. God bless you and you have a wonderful day.